Bitcoin Ordinals, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, Mike, over to you, mate.
Yeah, first of all, Mr. Yellow, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to share the story of OnChainMonkey. I see that we are live on multiple platforms right now, which is amazing. There's actually a tweet from Mr. Yellow's page that's streaming this to Twitter. So I'm gonna demonstrate something here. I just replied to that tweet from my Goodthings Twitter account, and I'm basically offering one OnChainMonkey banana, which is the utility token, the currency of our wealthy digital nation at OnChainMonkey. And so anyone that owns an OnChainMonkey and is eligible to earn bananas, and basically I'm going to give one banana to each person that retweets and replies to your tweet, Mr. Yellow. So we'll see how that does at the end of the show. I have a feeling it'll be pretty cool to see.
Excellent, mate. I've just done it, so I'm one banana to the good already.
Let's go. All right. So yeah, if you don't mind, Mr. Yellow, I'm just going to start off. Our COO, Amanda Terry, gave an amazing pitch the other night to a group of folks on Twitter, and I'm just going to kind of use that same pitch to give us an overview of what OnChainMonkey is.
Excellent, mate. Do it whenever you're ready. Go awesome. For it.
So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us today. Super excited to be here. My name is Mike Chavez. I'm a software engineer and evangelist for OnChainMonkey, and I'm super excited to share what we've accomplished and what we're building. Our team is CEO Danny Yang, who has a PhD in computer science from Stanford. He's the founder of the Stanford Bitcoin Meetup in 2013, creator of the largest cryptocurrency exchange in Taiwan. Our chairman is Bill Tai, who is a legendary investor and been in crypto since 2010. He lent the money to Bitfury to create their first ASIC mining chip to mine Bitcoin, and sits on the boards of Hut 8, the largest digital asset miner in North America, and has seeded over 23 publicly traded companies, including Dapper Labs, Zoom, and Canva. And our chief operating officer, Amanda Terry, who is an expert in operations with a background in Web2 at Twitter and NBC, and was part of 4 companies that were acquired by Google and AOL. As for myself, I previously worked at Boeing, Amazon Web Service, and I focused my graduate work on artificial intelligence in the computer science department at the University of Washington. Our mission at OnChainMonkey is to enrich our holders with wealth so they can use their wealth to make the world a better place. We released our 10,000 Genesis collection in September 2021. We were a free mint and the first PFP all on chain in a single Ethereum transaction, which was historic. Last Thursday, we made history again as the first 10,000 collection to mint on Bitcoin in a single inscription. Truly a historical precedent for NFTs. We have returned more value for our community than any free mint except CryptoPunks. When Bill, Danny, and Amanda founded the company, they were passionate about creating an asset that could bring a community together and create wealth. Our rarest Genesis OnChainMonkeys have sold for over $100,000, and over 85% of our community has made profitable trades based on data from our 3 collections. And we plan to deliver much more, as enriching our holders is always our top priority. Our second collection, Desserts, was a free 10,000 airdrop to our holders, similar to mutant serums. If you held a Genesis, you were airdropped our desserts, where popsicles and donuts were instantly worth 1 to 3.5 Ethereum, and the 15 rarest cakes sold at 80 Ethereum. That's over $200,000 at the time. So imagine being airdropped a dessert, which you receive for free after your free Genesis mint. Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, actually bought the first cakes, which is our apex tier with the most benefits and the ultimate profile picture. These are just a few examples of the value we created. Now we plan to do the same thing on Bitcoin. We were the first 10,000 inscription on ordinal number 20219. We did it in such an efficient manner that we were able to give all of our holders a free ordinal for each Genesis they own. With the liquidity that's been sitting on the sidelines in Bitcoin, we are excited to create this opportunity for our community. Every Genesis on Ethereum gets you a Genesis on Bitcoin. We truly see this as fine art on the blockchain. As for community, we have some of the best minds, innovators, creators, and entrepreneurs. We have hired 50% of our team from our community. It shows the quality of people in our community who are also attracted to our core values, RISE, which stands for respect. We treat everyone with respect, integrity. We maintain the highest ethical standards, sustainability. We create for the future, and enrichment. We provide value back to our community. We have created a give to earn model where in our economy, you get rewarded. Our banana token for giving and being active on Twitter and Discord. Our banana tokens are off chain now, but will be coming on chain like ApeCoin. Genesis holders will receive a higher allocation of tokens than our Karma holders. We also created a DAO, and our company put over 2,000 Ethereum in it, where any Genesis or Karma holder can propose to get funding and vote for how the funds are used. We just passed 4 proposals, and one of them was a 200 Ethereum proposal to buy OCM for the DAO to hold. We've raised $5.1 million with Animoca Brands, who also invested in Yuga, along with the founders of YGG, Dapper Labs, Etherscan, and Virgin Group. With Animoca doing their new Mochaverse drop, some of our holders will have access to that drop, just like they had access to 9gag's meme land, Allowless, as Ray Chan is also our investor. At OnChainMonkey, we are building a wealthy digital nation in Web3. Owning a Genesis or Karma is your passport to our ecosystem. We have many drops coming this year, including Alexis Andre, who's an amazing generative artist and the creator of friendship bracelets. And he is creating a collection of the OCM DNA, aka our metadata, for our community, which will also be on Bitcoin. There are unlimited possibilities in the OnChainMonkey Web3 digital nation. I think you're on mute, Mr. Yellow.
Sorry. There I am, making sure the dog barking in the background doesn't come through. But yeah, no, that's amazing, mate. How you fit so much information into like a 5-minute pitch. For those of you that are new to NFTs, don't worry, we're going to dig a bit deeper into those things. That could have sounded like an awful lot of technical stuff, but we're going to go, we're going to break it down a little bit more now. So Mike, probably worth starting with, who are you, and what was your path to getting involved with OCM?
Sure. Yeah, so I started off my career at the Boeing Company. Started off working in financial operations and then moved into business intelligence. And in 2015, I basically started learning to code. I was in Seattle at the time, and I ended up going to North Seattle Community College, took my first 101 coding class. And then from there, managed to move into the University of Washington. Eventually ended up in their graduate program for computer science. And I focused on artificial intelligence. At the time, it was very clear to me that this was going to be an absolute world-changing aspect of computer science. And so I was really excited to join the faculty there and ended up on a really amazing research team. At the same time, I was also working at Amazon Web Services as a business analyst, where I was working on a team that was building a brand new service for AWS. I ended up focusing full-time on my graduate studies until about 2021, September, which is when I discovered OnChainMonkey. I started buying OnChainMonkeys because I saw the value of the team and the people, the early community that was there. And then within a few weeks, I had started messaging with Danny Yang, our CEO, telling him that I was interested in come joining the team and helping him build out the ecosystem. And so I joined MetaGood, which is our company that's building OnChainMonkey, in October of 2021 as a software engineer.
So you are one of the 50% of the team then that came directly from the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really a cool experience. OnChainMonkey was my first NFT, and I had never been in a Discord for NFTs before. And anyone that's ever been in an NFT Discord knows that it can be a very wild place. Kind of a Wild West type of situation. And I noticed right away that even though this was my first Discord, I noticed the leadership, not just from Danny, but the people that were early. People like Paulin, Nice, shout out to him. People like Waxel, like we have a lot of amazing community members that were there from day one. And these are people who come from the world of Bitcoin. They've been in crypto for a very long time. And so they're very mature type of person in NFTs that wasn't coming in for a cash grab. They were here to invest for a very long term and to help build. And so I saw that, and I immediately knew that I had come across something magical. And so I started messaging with Danny within the first 2 weeks, and it was almost like lightning fast. I was within a couple weeks of talking with Danny about it, I was then coding up our banana bot, which is how we distribute our banana token on Discord.
That's so crazy. And you must have thought you'd fallen on your feet by landing in this Discord. And yeah, you're so right. Discords are wild, and they're even wilder at mint times because you haven't had the chance to form that community yet. So you just got everybody in there, and people don't kind of necessarily know. But yeah, I imagine you couldn't wait to get going with a team like this. I mean, we'll touch on it in the website, but like the team and the investors and the community is just such a amazing bunch of people that have all come together and rallied around this project.
Absolutely.
It blows me away.
It is like a rabbit hole that I just fell into. So the way I found out about it was through a gentleman named Raoul Paul. Raoul Paul is an amazing, investor and analyst, macro analyst, somebody that I had followed since 2017 when I first got into crypto. Back then I was buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and, a few altcoins. But Raoul is one of those people that I've followed over the years. He's a thought leader and somebody that I definitely respect. And I saw him in a Twitter Spaces, which was a relatively new feature to Twitter at the time. And I was like, I was very curious. So I hopped in, and he was speaking with two gentlemen about something very interesting that I didn't quite understand what I was listening to, but I knew who I was listening to, the caliber of people. And the two people that Raoul was speaking to were Danny Yang, our CEO, and Bill Tai, our chairman. And I sat there and I listened for like an hour, still not knowing at the end what I had just been hearing about, but knew that whatever it was, I wanted to be involved. And so the next day is when I bought my first monkey, and the floor price of OnChainMonkey had doubled overnight. So that I wasn't the only one that listened to that Twitter Spaces and had the same idea. So the next day became a legendary day in part of the lore of OnChainMonkey. Anybody that was there knows that story, and maybe we can get into that a little bit later. But it was just a very exciting, fun day because people had already, this was day 9 of OnChainMonkey, and people were already like basically understanding on day 9 how big that this was going to be.
So should we just reel back 9 days and just talk about what was the OnChainMonkey release? What was different about it? Because you guys well, I can't say you for this because you weren't there you're late, mate. 8 days in.
I'm late.
But you know what I mean? It was pretty bloody innovative from day one. So do you want to break that down?
Sure.
A bit?
Sure. Yeah. So, we just made history on Bitcoin. Danny and our team, our engineering team, which is made up of an incredible set of engineers, they were able to put our Genesis collection on Bitcoin using the Ordinals protocol as the first 10K collection on Bitcoin. So we made history there on Bitcoin. But the Genesis collection is actually historic on Ethereum as well. Danny basically created an algorithm and put it into a smart contract on Ethereum that became the first 10K collection, PFP collection, to be deployed in a single transaction. And the reason he did this is not to show off his engineering skills. He did it to show that there is a way to put NFTs on Ethereum in an efficient manner, because efficiency and storage space really, really matters, and especially on Bitcoin. And so the fact that he did that on Ethereum it wasn't an accident that we were the first 10,000 on Bitcoin. It was preparation meets opportunity. And so Danny saw what was going on with Ordinals our team, he readied our team immediately, and they were able to execute in very quick fashion.
So yeah, I mean, insane with how you did that drop, and nobody was doing it at the time. 10,000 in a single transaction, all the art stored on chain as well,
Yep.
which without going too deep, obviously that matters a lot. If it's not on chain, you're effectively buying the sort of record that is linked out to some sort of external source. And
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
there's huge risk with that in the future.
Yeah. So a lot of NFTs, in fact, I don't know what the percentage is, but like it's pretty safe to say like over 50% of NFTs on Ethereum are not on chain, meaning if you look at a profile picture that someone says there's an NFT that they own of that, the image for that profile picture actually isn't stored on the blockchain. It's stored somewhere else. It could be stored on something called IPFS, could be stored on something called Arweave, could be stored on AWS server somewhere. But the point is that if somebody, basically stops storing that picture at some time, that image, then it will be gone forever unless, you as a user saves it. With OnChainMonkey Genesis, the images will be on Ethereum as long as the Ethereum network is live, and they're now also on Bitcoin. And so these historic pieces of generative art will outlive all of us, and that's one of the really cool things that you can. We all are talking about basically being able to share these with generations to come, and that's part of the magic that we're building.
Yeah, and just for those, obviously, some people will know this, but some people won't. So, just at a really high level, uh, owning an on-chain monkey is not me having a JPEG. There's a lot more to the actual. What does that token do for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So we view our membership tokens, which are the OnChainMonkey Genesis collection. There's 10,000 of them, and the Karma collection, which there will be a total of 20,000 at some point. Um, so 30,000 possible tokens of membership to OnChainMonkey, our wealthy digital nation. And basically, we look at those as your passport to the wealthy digital nation. So we've built quite a bit of an ecosystem since September 2021. And now that we're starting to build on Bitcoin, those NFTs are your basically passport to all of the rewards that we're going to build for the community. And already, we have a banana token that people can earn daily on Twitter and Discord. And I see some people earning it right now by engaging with that tweet that I put out.
Nice.
Um, there's also stuff like missions. We reward people through specific missions. Like the first mission we launched is called the Lab mission. So it's like a soft staking. Basically, all you got to do is go onto the OnChainMonkey website, click a button, and you're soft staked. And basically, your monkeys are on the lab mission and they earn rewards. So yeah, I can see you there. You've got looks like you've got 56 of 60
Ooh,
days on lab mission 4 there.
yeah, I'm close, mate. I'm close to that one.
So that's a way that people can be passively rewarding for holding. There's also things like earning bananas on Twitter, and Discord, where people are actively engaging and building our community out. We're all kind of building this together, which is part of the amazing thing about NFTs. And then also now that we are on Bitcoin, every Genesis NFT will also get you that exact same Genesis NFT on Bitcoin using the Ordinals protocol. So that's an amazing value unlock. We truly believe that the most valuable assets in crypto will be stored on Bitcoin, and getting to own, one of the like even one Genesis that's one of the first 10K collection on Bitcoin. So CryptoPunks was the first 10K PFP collection on Ethereum, and OnChainMonkey Genesis is the first 10K collection on Bitcoin. So we're really excited to be able to unlock that value for our Genesis members, but we build value for every member in our community. That's our primary focus. So we're also going to be building out other collections that our Karma community members will also have access to.
So should we touch on bananas there? Because it's worth explaining to people what the bananas is. And it's been through a couple of iterations, but it's based in, I mean, let's be honest, it's marketing now. It's great marketing, but it's actually based in some amazing karma, really.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's actually it serves multiple purposes. It's the currency of our wealthy digital nation, and so in getting engagement for our brand and our community is one aspect of it. So it can be seen as a way to like use to boost signal for the messages that our community members want to send, that our company wants to send. It's very effective for that. But it's much more than that. We are building a full scale economy for this banana token, and it already exists. I paid. I see we have Dave Heavyside commenting earlier. He goes by Heavy D on Twitter and our Discord. He's a really old friend of mine. I've known him since the beginning, and he's been a builder in our community. He actually built the first website for our company. And he's just an amazing builder. And so I pay him in bananas on a regular basis for things like graphic design, for things like, all kinds of things I can pay him for. I paid one of our other amazing community members, 3D Cole. I paid him for several amazing 3D renderings of a couple of OnChainMonkey things the other day. And so I was able to pay him in bananas. Yeah, I see you've got one of 3D Cole's right there. So so we can pay each other for goods and services, and we already are doing that. In addition, in order to get OnChainMonkey merch, our company sells those for bananas, so you don't have to pay in USD. Although we are going to have some new merch coming, so a little bit of alpha there. And then we also have auctions that the company will run. And we've seen Genesis NFTs get sold for over 2,000 bananas. We've seen Karma NFTs get sold for I think over 1,500 bananas. We have done things like we sponsored Julia Landauer, who's an amazing NASCAR racer and just an innovator in the Web3 space. So we sponsored one of her races, and she hooked us up with VIP pit passes to her race in Miami. I was able to attend, and then we auctioned off a couple of pit passes to the community. And so one of our good friends in the community was also able to use bananas to attend that. So there's a ton of utility for bananas already. But I'm really excited about our second season of OnChainMonkey DAO, because that's based all around building out the full scale economy for bananas.
You forgot a couple of things there, mate. I was one of the first to do a trade with bananas. Me and Alpha Andy did we were trading some stuff and we needed to balance it. So that was done in bananas. But you also do regular poker tournaments, and you've had quite a fantastic poker tournament with some amazing people in as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Charlie Lee, who's an investor in MetaGood and an absolute OnChainMonkey super fan, and an amazing poker player, by the way. He plays poker on a regular basis with the community. We've also had two of our other investors, Woody Harrelson and I'm blanking, Owen Wilson, two amazing actors and folks in who invested in our company. They actually did a poker tournament with our community members as well, and we're looking forward to doing more of those. But yeah, it's you're right. Like, it is at this point, unless I have a list in front of me, it's very difficult to think of all of the use cases for bananas.
Oh,
The community is constantly coming up with new ones.
and as you said, the next season of the DAO is all about generating more ideas there as well. So
Yeah.
and I'm super excited, mate. You slipped it into the earlier pitch, but I'm super excited about the fact that these are fungible. I know you announced it back when you did Karma, but yeah, those becoming fungible tokens is a super exciting thing. And
Yeah, and I guess I should touch too on the philosophy behind it. So we call the method with which you can earn bananas, we call it give to earn. And so the concept is really simple. In order to earn a banana, you have to give a banana. So you give a banana, get a banana. And it's a very simple concept, but what it has done is it has allowed us to build this incredible organic, tightly knit community, which is really more like a family. Um, I have a brother who is he's a consumer, rights attorney and very busy, but every day he tweets out and in our Discord, he sends a banana to another OnChainMonkey community member that he's never met before. And through this, he's been able to like create a network within OnChainMonkey for himself, where he's able to meet all kinds of amazing people who are also OnChainMonkeys. So there's a ton of value in just the idea of tokenizing good karma. And this was one of the concepts that our chairman Bill Tai had been thinking about since for years. And he really kind of did the first initial experiment when he invested in Dapper Labs in 2017 and created a Hanu Kitty, which is the first NFT that was auctioned off, and the proceeds were used for a social impact initiative.
I mean, the banana stuff is just genius, mate. We've talked about it a few times, and it kept me coming back to the OCM Discord to farm bananas. I didn't even know why, but it was just like, yeah, give to earn, and rise. It's just really, really cool. So we launched OCM back in September. You touched on the next couple of things, but do you want to just go through like a bit more on desserts and then the second collection, Karma, and how that came about as well?
Sure. So we launched Genesis as a free mint, which is actually, if you think about the value that we've created, over 85% of our holders across our collections, all three, so Genesis, desserts, and Karma, have made basically like positive ROI trades on them, which for the NFT market is really extraordinary. And so, in addition to launching Genesis as a free mint, Danny and the team made an kind of like an easy decision on their end, because they believe in enriching the folks that are building with them. Our team airdropped 10,000 desserts to the original 10,000 Genesis holders. And as I said in the pitch earlier, some of those folks got like 15 of those folks got celestial cakes, which you see there on the screen, that floating cake. Those sold the day after for, I think the first one sold for around 80 Ethereum, which at the time was around $200,000. So people got airdrop generational wealth, and even the donuts, those immediately started selling for 1 to 3.5 ETH. I think the floor right now on those is around 1 ETH, and the popsicles, those sitting around, I think 0.4 Ethereum. So we airdropped a ton of value onto the community because we believe in enriching our community and everything that we do. And then we launched our Karma collection in July of 2021, so last summer. And this collection really represents an evolution of the Genesis collection. Genesis art, just by the constraints with which it was developed, because it's basically just an algorithm. It's a block of code that generates the images for Genesis. And so we wanted to do something that really championed, the spirit of artistic and creative, abilities within our community. And one of our early community members goes by the name Top Shot Cabbie, Drew Winey. He created a derivative of the Genesis, and our team loved it. The community loved it. And they asked him to come, join the team. And he ended up hiring a few of his old boss from one of his old studios that he worked at, and another friend who's also been working in Hollywood. And these are three, award-winning animators that built the Karma collection based on the meta traits of Genesis. So it's a hand-painted collection using the exact metadata from Genesis, which is really it was really an intricate process. And so those minted in July of 2021. And we raised, I think, around $3 million in that mint. And we took 50% of that and we put it into the DAO. So that's a big part of how our DAO has 2,000 Ethereum in it. Our company MetaGood, put all of that Ethereum there, which again is extraordinary for NFTs.
Yeah, it's insane, mate. It is. I mean, I was lucky enough to have 3 Genesis and therefore got dropped 3. And I got 2 donuts and a popsicle. Obviously I didn't get a cake, otherwise I'd be retired and we wouldn't be doing this video right now. But
You and me both, Mr. Yellow.
I know it was just insane to see. And obviously you could then eat those with your Genesis, and the Genesis traits then came through into these karmas, but there was also the mint as well. So that kind of gave us the 2 collections, which does sort of bring us to more or less now, doesn't it? In terms of where we are. And obviously there's a load of stuff in train, but we've got to sort of first of all, I should have said this ages ago, but if anyone has any comments and they're on a platform other than Twitter, please do put those comments in the chat and we'll pick them up. We've got one from Sarp, actually. So what is this, Rise? Do you want to just repeat the explanation of that? Because you're going to see it all over Twitter. If you get into Twitter and follow OnChainMonkey, you're going to see this.
Yeah, so Rise is our it's our values, and it's really kind of the root philosophy that guides us in everything that we do, not only as a company, but as OnChainMonkey community members. So I'm actually an OnChainMonkey community member before I was a team member, which again is a little bit extraordinary in NFTs, that we've got over 50% of our team now is people that we were able to attract through OnChainMonkey. So we weren't, they didn't come out and find me or 50% of our team. We were able to join the team because we loved what the team was doing. So RISE stands for respect, integrity, sustainability, and enrichment. And those 4 things are the values that guide everything we do. And we love spreading those values throughout the Web3 space. So you'll see on Twitter people saying RISE, like in the comments. You'll see them saying RISE in Discord. And I think eventually you'll see RISE on many other platforms.
It is kind of our rallying call as well, isn't it, for community members? And probably worth touching on the change of E. I know that sounds really bad. We're not talking drugs here, kids. Don't do drugs. But that changed recently, didn't it?
Yeah,
a few weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, so we evolved the E. So the E in RISE originally stood for experimentation, and we evolved it to enrichment because while we recognize the importance of always trying new things and always innovating, that is absolutely like a guiding light for us. And you can see it with the work we're doing on Bitcoin, with all of the stuff we built within, like with our bananas being earned on Discord and Twitter. We were a first mover in that. But we want to really emphasize that our goal in everything we do is really to enrich our members. Without our members, we just can't do what we've been able to do. They have helped us in so many ways. I mean, frankly, this stream that's happening right now is because one of our amazing OnChainMonkey members, you, Mr. Yellow. And so we have this insane community of support. And so we really just want to recognize that our goal, our driving light every day is to enrich our members.
And I just love the way that changed, and it all sort of nicely fit into place there. So just whilst we're talking, obviously we've been rooting around the OnChainMonkey website as we've been chatting. There's a wealth of information there. One of the phrases we talk about in NFTs is do your own research, and that can be a bit hard. There often isn't the detail there, but like literally the OnChainMonkey website has huge amounts. I mean, we've looked through some of the homepage. I'm just here in the gallery because actually I haven't looked at it for a while, and because we were talking earlier, I came in here and I just thought, how brilliant is this for buying them? So what you've got here on the OnChainMonkey website is obviously it's linked up to the marketplaces, so you can see the OCMs that are for sale, but you can also see their level on missions. So we talked about missions earlier. We probably need to touch on that a little bit more, but we'll do that in the what was in chain. But you can see this person, this monkey hasn't been on the missions, so you can gain a lot of benefits by doing those missions, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But also I can click on the monkey, see a bit more detail. I can also say this monkey hasn't eaten any desserts. So each monkey can only eat one of each type of dessert. So obviously if you buy a monkey that's level 4 or 5 and has eaten all the desserts, there's a limited amount you can do with him, but him or her, but he's amazing nonetheless. So you have got this great resource on the website that if you were looking at this, and if you are looking at this, I'm just going to put one up down the bottom. You can find these on OpenSea, called OnChainMonkey. I'd always say be careful. My favorite way to always look up an NFT collection is to join their Discord. Join their Discord first. In all Discord channels for NFT collections, they're going to have an official link section. That is the best place to go. There are people out there that will sort of knock stuff up. And if you're new to it, maybe you don't know the warning signs. But so always the best way is go and join the Discord, because that way you can talk to the community, and then go and get the links there where you can purchase them or even find out more. You know, be careful with websites as well. It's easy for someone to change a letter, put up a fake site. So yeah, always good. Go to Discord. So easiest way to find Discord, follow OnChainMonkey on Twitter. You can then follow their link to their Discord or use the Discord link there. I like it. OCM, very easy. And then you can have a look at them. So is there anything else we want to have a look at on the website before we talk about what is huge, which is the ordinal stuff, and also what is huge, which is, I think, the mission stuff, the Alexis Andre stuff, the Danny stuff. Beyond that, I mean, there's so much to.
Yeah. No, I think you did a great job of going through sort of the main features of our website, which is basically we have this incredible gallery that the engineering team has built. You're looking at the merch store right now, which this is where OnChainMonkey members can use their bananas that they earn to buy OnChainMonkey merch, like our hat, like our shirt. I see a hoodie and some socks there. And we've got more merch coming, which I'm really excited about because I can, anybody that's an OCM super fan like myself, you know as well as I do how big that merch is. So super pumped on that. But yeah, I think you did a good job going through the profile as well, showing how you can basically see if the monkeys that you're looking at have eaten desserts, and you can track the rewards as well as your banana transactions. Yep. And you can check your mission status, and you can see all of your monkeys that you've got there. And you got some beautiful monkeys, I got to say, especially that aqua, like that guy.
I do. This one I'm holding for someone. He's a little rogue in the crew at the moment because he needs to go back to his proper home. But that's a longer story, which I'm sure you can understand what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's talk ordinals then, mate. Unless there's anything on the website that you particularly want to, I think.
No, yeah, I think you covered it quite well, and I definitely recommend folks who have more questions. The first stop would be the OCM Discord. Our CEO Danny Yang is in there every day. Amanda Terry, our COO, is in there. I'm in there. We've got an amazing team of community moderators, and our community team is in there. And just the OnChainMonkey family is in there. And, I think anybody that comes in there and has a question about anything, doesn't matter if it's about OnChainMonkey. The community is very, very helpful. It's one of the most helpful Discords I've ever seen. And I've been in the NFT space for over a year and a half, collecting NFTs, not just for OnChainMonkey, but multiple communities out there. And I can honestly say OnChainMonkey it's the most helpful Discord, most friendly, most welcoming that I've ever been part of.
So it's jumping ahead a bit, but I like to get some answers for people as they ask them. So there's a question for you, mate. I know the answer. It's not alpha, but I still love the answer. So
yeah, absolutely. And this is a great question from Ben F, asking if there's a plan in the future to add karma to Bitcoin. So all of our karma holders are going to have access to ordinals as well. So we do have other collections in work, in plan, aside from the Genesis collection, which is already on Bitcoin. And so, karma will, no monkey left behind. Karma will absolutely get access to Bitcoin ordinals. And I can't wait because I hold a lot of karma and I know a lot of my friends who have karmas, but don't yet have Genesis. So I'm really excited for them to get some rewards on Bitcoin as well.
That's brilliant. I think we'll leave the other question just until we've done the Bitcoin ordinal bit. So do you want to give us, I mean, this is a bit insane because I did actually DM you a couple of times and say, are you going to sleep? Because I was getting a little bit worried that morning, noon and night, you were on Twitter Spaces. All you guys were. I mean, just leading the Bitcoin ordinal discussion. Do you want to just talk about that in a little bit more detail?
Sure. So Bitcoin ordinals at this point is probably almost 3 weeks old in terms of its adoption. So as I understand it, Casey Rodemore, who is the engineer that built ordinals, the ordinals protocol, he'd been working on it for several months, and basically at a certain point he launched an alpha stage of it where he opened it up to people about 3 weeks ago, and people immediately started using it, slowly at first, but like all things in crypto and NFTs, exponential adoption happened very quickly. And so from 3 weeks ago, where there was no inscriptions on Bitcoin using this protocol, we're now at well over 100,000. And when Danny and the team launched the ordinals, launched Genesis on ordinals, they did it in inscription 2021-9, which is a very significant number. Genesis was launched on Ethereum in September 2021. So, I'll just leave it at like, it was a little bit of OnChainMonkey magic that made that happen. It's not something that is easily reproducible by anybody else to get a special inscription number like that. But it is part of like, who we are as a team and the abilities that we have. Sorry, my video seems to have frozen. Can you still hear me?
Hear you perfect, mate. Don't worry about the video.
Cool.
I mean, you can flick the camera off and flick it back on. It might sort it out. But if not, it doesn't matter. Your audio's crystal. So
sweet.
We'll carry on.
So Danny, the backstory here is Danny was at the Satoshi Roundtable, which is a very exclusive event for people who have been in the crypto space and specifically working in Bitcoin for a number of years. Danny started working on Bitcoin, way back when. He founded, one of the first big meetup groups at Stanford. It's called the Bitcoin Stanford Meetup in 2013. One of my favorite moments from there's actually a meetup website that's still available. You can see photos. And one of my favorite photos is one of Vitalik Buterin, a young Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, pitching to the crowd there at the Bitcoin Stanford Meetup that Danny founded this new concept called smart contracts. And an interesting side story, Bill Tai, who is a legendary investor who sees things well before most other people, he actually was pitched by Vitalik on Ethereum, and he unfortunately declined. He passed on that opportunity. But it's just really an extraordinary kind of moment in our team's history in the space. And so because Danny was involved all those years ago, and Bill as well, they recognized the opportunity of this moment. And so Danny, as soon as he caught wind of the ordinals and they were discussing it at Satoshi Roundtable, he was able to rally our team, and he got back from Dubai, and they executed very quickly. I personally became aware of it kind of midway through, but as soon as I saw what they were doing, I knew the significance of it. And it was, I believe, it's been a whirlwind, but I believe it was last Wednesday or last early Thursday morning, Eastern time here in the United States, where Danny dropped the alpha in the OnChainMonkey alpha channel, like what had happened. And Danny does this all the time in pure Danny fashion. He didn't tell me, he didn't tell anybody on the team. He told our community first, and I caught wind of it, and I knew, okay, it was go time. So we started rallying in the alpha channel in OnChainMonkey Discord, just super excited. We hopped into the voice channel, which doesn't happen often in our Discord. There was, I think, close to 40 or 50 people in there, all super pumped for what had just been announced. And then we moved into Twitter Spaces shortly after, which is where I think you caught the news, Mr. Yellow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was blown away. I was walking the dog listening to this Twitter space, and obviously I knew it was a late night one for you guys, and I was a little bit like, are they joking? I mean, because it was so huge, the announcement, that I was literally playing it back, and I had to come up on stage and just say, Goodthings, do you want to just repeat what you're saying there, mate? Yeah, it was just insane, because nobody had done it that way at all. The way Danny did it was completely different, and setting a precedent for the way it's likely others will adopt, and others have already adopted. So it was a crazy day, really, mate. I honestly couldn't believe it, because it was completely out of the blue.
Yeah,
you weren't working on it. You were, but you weren't talking about it. There's lots of other wheels that are moving that we'll touch on in a bit, but
so it's I think it's one event in a long history, short history in terms of the total scope of time. But our entire, we've been around as an NFT company and a project for close to a year and a half at this point. And all along the way, we have done things like this. So on Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving 2021, that's 3 months after we launched Genesis, we did another historic thing. We used Ethereum that we had raised from the secondary royalty funds, the revenue we had received. We took some of that Ethereum and we gave it to a nonprofit that was connected through our network. And this nonprofit, a woman by the name of Sophia Swire, she was able to coordinate the evacuation of a woman and her family from Afghanistan. That woman's name is Sharbat Gula. She is a very famous woman in just across the world. Her photo as a little girl appeared on a National Geographic cover in 1984. She's known as the Afghan girl from that photo. But she was endangered after the Taliban retook over Afghanistan. And we got the message that this evacuation needed to happen very quickly. And the whole thing happened within a 24-hour period from the time that the conversation started with us to the time that she was actually en route and safe and sound on her way to Italy.
That's insane. Just absolutely insane. Yeah, just looking at the OCM news is pretty crazy in itself.
Yeah, and you just passed actually another story along the similar lines. So when Russia invaded Ukraine, we basically stopped what we were doing in building our normal product line, and we created an NFT collection called OCM Earth. And we told our community, like, this is not a utility collection. This is simply to raise funds to give humanitarian aid to the people of Ukraine. And we were able to raise $185,000 in 5 days. And that was also a crypto native donation that was made to save the children. And we have an amazing person in our community and in our company's network who he actually he's the first person to basically accept a crypto payment for nonprofit. And he did this way through Save the Children way back in, I think, around 2014 or so.
It's just insane, mate.
So yeah, it's kind of that this is our bread and butter. You know, we are a technology company, we are an NFT company, and we're an impact company. So we basically, when we have the opportunity, we're able to capture it, and you know, we'll continue to do that. You know, Genesis launching on Bitcoin was just the start of us building on both Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Okay, so we're getting close to an hour, and obviously the internet's playing silly buggers with your camera. So
Yeah.
let's talk about a couple of other things. What's next chronologically in what's being delivered? Is it the sort of parts, or is it Alexis Andre, or is it actually the DAO? Because there's a question about the DAO. So let's go DAO first, shall we?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first season of the DAO, it was 5 rounds of voting, and we use infrastructure called Prop House. It was built by members of the Nouns DAO team. And anybody in NFTs, you know, if you haven't heard of Nouns DAO, you should definitely check them out. They're an incredible group of builders. And so we're using you know, token gated infrastructure to vote on proposals that are submitted. In the first season, it was anybody could submit. In the second season, we're constraining the proposals to OnChainMonkey holders. So you have to hold a Genesis or a Karma to propose to the DAO. But in the first season, we saw, I believe we funded around 55 to 60 Ethereum to like, I think around 30 different projects. And we saw everything from small businesses being created to impact work, like folks who, you know, rebuilt a skate park in Rio de Janeiro. And did you know, created basically a Christmas party for an orphanage down in Brazil for 80 young girls. And you know, aside from that, we had somebody who is a meta partner doing AR work. They built some AR stuff for OnChainMonkey as well. So we had a ton of cool stuff coming out of DAO season 1. Season 2 is all about building out an economy, full-scale economy for our banana token. And so we're super excited that that's starting, I believe, in the next few weeks. We just basically got a bunch of submissions for our small grants committee, which is a committee of 4 OnChainMonkey community members that vote on special rounds of funding. So we're really ramping up for the DAO right now. And that coincides perfectly with our new sort of like push to be building out both on Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Yeah, none of these things are normal for your average NFT project. This is why I keep saying this is so insanely special. But just talking about the DAO, mate, how much is in it currently? It's
I haven't checked the wallets. If you actually go to I believe it's the benefits ribbon up there, you go to DAO. So people can actually see, you know, we're very much about transparency. You can see the wallets there. But I believe it's around, we always say approximately 2,000 Ethereum because we're consistently getting royalty revenue that's going back into those wallets. So every time people are trading our collections, 50% of that revenue is going into the DAO currently. And you can see some of the projects that we've built through the DAO. So that right there is a kiteboard that you shout out to Heavy D. He helped do the design of that, and a really famous kiteboarding company built that kiteboard, and that's going to be auctioned off in the future. You can see there our chairman Bill Tai, who's an absolute incredible kiteboarder, was using it. That project to the right, that is one of the small businesses that was created from the DAO. It's a very high grade canvas company. They build and ship these incredible canvases, and they're basically built a platform through our DAO, funded through our DAO, that allows not only OnChainMonkey members but other folks to you know, to basically use their token gated service. And then there you're seeing some of the impact work. This is the team from Brazil. Amazing group of builders down there that they completely revitalized this part of their community and breathed new life where small businesses are popping up, kids are playing for the first time in years. It's just really exciting to see.
It's crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. I'm mindful of the time, you know, because an hour's a long time. I
Yeah, yeah,
feel like we got a couple more sessions in us where we can talk a little bit more detail.
absolutely. I can't
Uh,
wait. There's a lot coming, so there'll be a lot to talk about.
oh, mate, you guys just keep knocking it out of the park. So, should we just touch on the other few things that are
Yeah,
spinning?
I guess we can just kind of end with what's coming, like the kind of the
Yeah.
alpha that everybody's always looking for. So, as I said, we are building every day, and we're building a lot right now, to enrich our holders. So if you own an OnChainMonkey Genesis, you're going to get that that same exact OnChainMonkey Genesis on Bitcoin. So, if you've got 20 OnChainMonkey Genesis, if you got 5, if you've got 60, all of those, you'll get each one of those. So like the reason I'm saying this is because people are starting to snipe high value traits, knowing that they're going to get that same high value trait on Bitcoin as the first 10K collection on Bitcoin. So that's something that folks should know. For our Karma community members, we're also going to be we're also going to be launching some other generative art collections. One of them is Alexi Andre. And so everybody in the OnChainMonkey community is going to have a chance to get access to those. The most surefire way, if you want the access to future drops, is to get an OCM set, which is an OnChainMonkey Genesis, a Karma 1, and a Karma 2. It doesn't have to be the desserts that you feed to your Genesis. It can be any Genesis plus any Karma 1 plus any Karma 2. And that gets you guaranteed allow list to things like Alexia Andre. And aside from that, I mean, we still have that's just like kind of in the near term. There's a lot of other stuff that we have planned for the rest of the year that I can't quite talk about at this moment. There's a lot of upgrades coming to Bananas. So right now we're running a mission called the PFP Flex mission, and I see you're on it right now. So if you are rocking a PFP, a Genesis PFP on Twitter, you earn 6x bananas right now. And if you are rocking a Karma, you earn 2 times the amount of bananas. So it's kind of like our own little banana stimulus event. We've had a few other kind of banana stimulus events in the past, and I really encourage folks, to use this time to, if you hold a monkey, rock it on Twitter and earn those bananas, because things like allow list spots, things like NFTs, all kinds of utility that we're going to provide as a company, we're going to use bananas to get access to those, and stuff like auctions. So we actually just did a space with our partner and investor, Animoca Brands, the other night, and they've got an exciting project coming out next week called Mochaverse. And so we have allow list spots for our community, some of which will be auctioned off using bananas. So I highly encourage folks right now to get all the bananas they can.
Excellent. And one final thing, because some of the stuff has been, well, there's a couple of things actually. Some of the stuff has been talked about around this. I'm not sure how far you can go, but obviously our missions have been earning us parts. Sometimes they've been earning people actual karma or the OG collection, but we've been collecting a lot of parts, and there's been some alpha about that dropped. I don't know what you can share, mate, but it's probably worth touching on it quickly.
Absolutely. So those parts, those accessory pack, the tread pack, the shell pack, and then all of the swag packs, those are eventually going to be our members who've been earning these will be able to use these, combine them to create a utility robot NFT. So that will not be a membership NFT, but it will be a utility NFT that can be paired with a Genesis or a Karma to unlock even more rewards. And so that's also coming very soon.
Excellent. And there's another art piece coming as well, isn't there? That's only ever lightly been talked about. But do you want to just repeat that for people here?
Are you talking about another collection by Danny Yang?
Yes.
Yeah. So our CEO Danny Yang, he's an very established software engineer, entrepreneur, but he's also a generative artist. He created the Genesis collection, which we do consider it a high-end generative art. And so we're really excited that he's been working on another collection and that will also be coming on Bitcoin.
Mm. And I just wanted to touch, because I love the way he explained it the other day with the Bitcoin ordinals, and how your OG is basically your pass, your access pass, and the ordinal is essentially the fine art piece, because that is where fine art things are going to be stored in the future. And obviously, as you said, the Bitcoin chain is the pinnacle of NFT chains, and it's where the huge value is. So I just really like that explanation, because sometimes it can get a little bit muddy, you know. What is this then? What is that? What have you done there? And it just seemed super clear to me that I can't wait till I get me hands on some of
You and
those.
me both. I'm super excited. So folks that know me in the community know that I collected a lot of on-chain monkeys, the Genesis collection, well before I was on the team. I say well before, but it was actually like 2 weeks. But in NFT time, that 2 weeks is a long time to us. But yeah, so I hold close to 60 Genesis in my collection. I hold, I think, around 40 something Karma, and then I've got a lot of desserts as well. So I am like, I am more convicted than I've ever been in holding our collections, and I cannot wait to get these on Bitcoin.
I know I feel like we've covered a huge amount there, mate. And I want to
Yeah.
say thank you for your time. It's been awesome. We've been talking about doing this for 6 months, but you guys are knocking so much out that we've always just been like, oh, okay, yeah. When it gets quiet, when it gets quiet.
Yeah, no, I want to thank you, Mr. Yellow. You've been a dear friend, someone I've been super fortunate to have met pretty early on in my journey and here in NFTs. And we just talked very quickly to do this yesterday. So you jump in so quickly in to help is just one example of many of the work that you've done to help build our community as well. And I just want to say, one of the things that I think is extraordinary about what we've done on Bitcoin is that there doesn't exist yet, before OnChainMonkey, a true community that was already built, that already has an ecosystem, that already has a company. We've been established in September 2021, and us coming onto Bitcoin is not, it's not like us basically trying to create something that is going to be short term, that is something that is going to be, in any way negative for the Bitcoin community. We're excited to onboard people who have been Bitcoin OGs for a long time, who haven't been able to get into NFTs because one reason or another. And we're excited just to bridge the Ethereum and Bitcoin communities. And we believe we're the premier community to do that. So, if you want to build wealth, and you want to do good with that wealth, then OnChainMonkey is a community for you.
And I think that's been demonstrated, mate. I think, this just isn't your average NFT project. This is just huge. The team is huge. The community is huge. And your delivery pace is just insane. To go from something not existing to delivering yet another first. And I believe just one final point, because I love this one and I think it's pretty insane. But on the ordinals, it's not just the 10,000 that are there, is it? There are actually all of the variations.
Yeah, so Danny and the team, they love Easter eggs. And
Yeah.
so there's several Easter eggs. If you go and look at inscription 20219, there actually is like I forget the number, but there are like in the over several million variations of monkeys possible there. And yeah, there may be some other Easter eggs there as well.
Yeah, and for people that don't necessarily understand outside, there's obviously lots of versions of the monkeys that didn't make it into the 10,000. And this is basically well, it's never the whole set, but it's a huge set of them beyond the 10,000. And yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what people start finding. I think we should probably call it a day there, mate. It's sort of Sunday evening. That's been an hour and 5 minutes. Let's just check the comments that there isn't. Thank you, Jay Brush. Much appreciated. Yeah, I've really enjoyed that, mate. And I think we should definitely look at doing some more stuff. You know, the next thing to break the internet, I think, is us streaming to all these platforms, but also being live in the Twitter space. That's the one I want to test next.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't be more excited, Mr. Yellow. I definitely see us coming back probably within a couple of weeks, if not a month, because there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to cover. So really appreciate your time today, and so grateful to all the folks that are listening out there.
Yeah, and we can get some more people on here, you know, community members, team members, anything, maybe even other projects that make sense at the time. So yeah, no, it's brilliant, mate. I'm going to say rise to you, and thank you again. And sorry about the technical issues, but hey, it's not a live broadcast if something don't go wrong. At least
100%.
We got the audio. We're missing your beautiful face, mate. Hopefully you're getting some relaxation this weekend, other than the fact that it's Sunday and you're working with me.
It's what I live for. Yeah, everyone knows who knows me knows I live, breathe, and sleep OnChainMonkey. It's what it's all about.
Yeah. Thank you, Noogs, for the comment. We try our best. We try our best. But yeah, until next time, mate, let's say goodbye. Thanks to everyone that turned up, all the comments. I love it with the comments coming in. If we'd been a little bit more doing this in advance, we'd have had it out there for a little while, but it's been brilliant to have you here on a Sunday night. Have a great weekend. Rise and go. If you know nothing about monkeys, hopefully you want to find out a little bit more. Go and do your own research. Have a look. Jump into the Discord. It is the friendliest community I have ever landed in. Everyone will help you, and there's probably core team members there as well. So, Mike, mate, let's go.
Let's go. Rise to you, Mr. Yellow. Thank you so much.
See ya.